Dumelang. Greetings, sanbonani. Niyaphila guys. Ngiyazama mina. We're surviving, eh? We're surviving. Taking each day at a time. Each day at a time, guys. Okay, guys, we still continue with the CCMA rules that were released on the 21st of April this year. And in the previous video, we dealt with chapter 1. So now we're going to deal with part 2 of those rules. Right? Okay, guys, please continue to support, view the channel, view the videos. Please share with others, different platforms that you are able to share. Please share. Please subscribe. At the bottom of the video, there's a subscribe option. Please subscribe to the channel. Let's make it bigger. Let's spread the message. Let's spread the knowledge. Let's empower each other, guys. Let's empower each other. It's very important that we share this knowledge so we know people are empowered. They know what to do when they're confronted with certain situations. You know? Okay. So, okay, let's delve into it. Let's dive into it. Part 2, conciliation of disputes. How to refer a dispute to the Commission for Conciliation. Right? Number 1, a party must refer a dispute to the Commission for Conciliation by delivering a completed prescribed LRA Form 7.11, which may include the Commission electronic referral, electronic online portals. Right? Number 2, when referring a dispute by means other than the official Commission electronic referral online portals as set out in Schedule 1, the referring party must attach to the referral document written proof in accordance with Rule 6 that the referral document was served on the other parties to the dispute. Right? In a situation where you're referring the matter, you must provide the proof to the CCMA that you sent the copy to your employer. In this case, you've got a dispute with your employer. B, must attach to the referral document an application for condonation if the referral is referred after the relevant time limit has expired. Guys, condonation is whereby normally, case of unfair dismissal, the time is 30 days, right? Must refer within 30 days. So let's say that time has lapsed. So you need condonation. You must apply for condonation for the CCMA to entertain your matter. Where you're explaining why it is late, why must they entertain your application although it is late. That's what we call condonation, guys. Number 3, despite Rule 10, Sub-Rule 2B, where a referral has been referred out of time and if condonation has not been attached to the referral, the Commission will decide whether the condonation will be determined at a hearing or by written submissions received from the parties. When must the Commission notify parties of a conciliation or facilitation? 1, the Commission must notify the parties in writing of a conciliation hearing at least 7 days prior to the scheduled date in matters relating to Section 64, Section 65 2A or Section 189A8 of the Act. B, 14 days prior to the scheduled date in the case of any other matter. Right? Number 2, despite Sub-Rule 1, the Commission may give the parties a shorter period of notice if the parties have agreed or reasonable circumstances require a shorter period. I mean, these rules can be flexible, right? 3, an additional 7 days must be provided if a notice of conciliation in terms of this rule is sent by registered mail only. 12. Commission or a commissioner may attempt to resolve dispute before conciliation. Take note of that one, guys. It's very important. The commission or a commissioner may contact the parties by telephone, or other means prior to the commencement of the conciliation in order to attempt to resolve the dispute. 13. What happens if a party fails to attend a conciliation? 1. If a party fails to attend or to be represented as contemplated in Rule 25 1A, the Commissioner may continue the proceedings, B. Adjourn the conciliation to a later date within the 30-day period, or C. Conclude the proceedings by issuing a certificate that the dispute remains unresolved. 1A. In the event that the dispute relates to Section 64 of the Act, picketing rules must be established before a certificate of non-resolution is issued, unless a party provides a signed picketing rules agreement as required by Section 69 6A of the Act. In exercising a discretion in terms of Sub-Rule 1, a commissioner should take into account, amongst other things, A. Whether the party has previously failed to attend a conciliation in respect of that dispute. B. Any reason given for that party's failure to attend. C. Whether conciliation can take place effectively in the absence of one or more of the parties. D. The likely prejudice to the other party of the commissioner's ruling. And E. Any other relevant factors. 14. How to determine whether a commissioner may conciliate a dispute. If it appears during a conciliation proceedings that a jurisdictional issue has not been determined, the commissioner must require the referring party to prove that the commission has the jurisdiction to conciliate the dispute through conciliation. 14A. Extension of conciliation period in terms of Section 135 2A of the Act. Number 1. The conciliating commissioner or a party to a conciliation process may request an extension of the conciliation period referred to in Section 135. 2. The request must be made on the prescribed form and before the expiry of the conciliation period as determined in terms of Section 135. 3. The director must, within 2 days of receipt of the request, A. Consider whether an extension is necessary to ensure a meaningful conciliation process. 2. The refusal to agree to the extension is unreasonable. And 3. Whether there are reasonable prospects of reaching agreement. The commissioner must advise the parties on whether the extension is granted and where the extension is granted the period of such extension. 4. The director may not extend the conciliation period if the state is the employer party. 15. Issuing of a certificate in terms of Section 135(5) of the Act. A certificate issued in terms of Section 135(5) of the Act that the dispute has or has not been resolved must identify the nature of the dispute and the parties as described in the referral document or as identified by the commissioner during the conciliation proceedings. 16. Conciliation proceedings may not be disclosed. Number 1. Conciliation proceedings are private and confidential and are conducted on a without prejudice basis. No person may refer to anything said at conciliation proceedings during any subsequent proceedings unless the parties agree in writing or as ordered otherwise by a court of law. Number 2. No person, including a commissioner, may be called as a witness during any subsequent proceedings in the commission or in any court to give evidence about what transpired during conciliation, unless as ordered by a court of law or a commissioner conducting an arbitration. Alright guys, we'll leave it there for now. That's the part 2 of the rules, of the CCMA rules. These are the rules that were released or were published on the 21st of April 2023. It's very important that we know about these rules, so whenever we're confronted with situations where we want the CCMA to intervene, then we know what must we do. to ensure that there are no unnecessary delays, to ensure there's compliance. Ngiyabonga guys. Lisidi.